Greetings. This is Doc Ock coming at you live and direct this evening from Black Facts Headquarters Central with another installment of Doc Ock at noon and 9. So you know what time it must be right now because the sun has gone down. It's actually set and I'm ready to go. And that's a bet. So first things first, you know what to do. Go ahead and give us a like if you're watching on Facebook. Give us a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. And then go ahead and spread the word far and wide to your friends, your family, your enemies. Spread the word to all that you see, because I'm sure it will please when you tell them about some of these presentations that we've been doing right here every night for free. Sure to help ease their mind as they will come here and be able to find some truth and maybe even some reconciliation. Who knows? But send them on in here anyway, and we'll do what we can for them. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and read our saying for today. Okay. Let me see. Looking for a good one. Here we go here. Easy one here. Let Africa be our guiding star, our star of destiny. Let Africa be our guiding star, our star of destiny. There we go. I like those. Trying to keep it simple. K-I-S-S. You know how we do it. Because K-I-S-S is the best. All right. And now we'll return to our main event, featured book of the week. Last week and this week, we're going to be reading it for a little bit longer. Coming up on the birthday of Marcus Mosiah Garvey, born on August 17, 1887. 1887. So you can see that was quite a while ago. But his words of wisdom are still here. His deeds, his actions, his transactions, all the things that he strove to do, those notions are still with us today, holding strong, holding firm, taking us on into another century, the 21st century. He was born in the 19th century, so 2 centuries later almost. Well, it's really 1 century, but he's spanning 2 or 3 different centuries, 19, 20, all the way into 21, right? This is what you call immortality. And we'd be doing good if we could gain as much as he has. So Garvey was also in the news for another reason. He and his secretary, you know, these secretaries can be quite, what's the word for? Entrancing. And apparently his was just so, was of that nature. Because here they are getting married at a lavish wedding ceremony. Let me just see if I can fix this thing here. I don't know why I have to go through this night after night. Why does it make me have to go and fix this thing? It should just work all by its lonesome. Let's see if it'll work now. Try it again. See if it works right this time. All right. So on December 25th, 1919, Marcus Mosiah Garvey and Amy Ashwood were married in a lavish wedding ceremony that took place in Harlem's Liberty Hall. It was a taste of the festivities that would occur the following August, when Garvey was to hold his first international convention of the UNIA. 25,000 strong. Can't go wrong when you got 25,000 strong. All right, now let's try this again. See if it works this time. Details of Garvey's ambitious scheme circulated throughout Harlem, but they gave the black world little preparation for the magnificent spectacle he organized that summer. Delegates came from as far away as Africa and South America. Packed convention sessions were held in Liberty Hall for not one, not two, but 30 days. 30 days. The 1920 First International Convention of the Negro Peoples of the World made both blacks and whites sit up and take notice of Garvey and his extraordinary program. And I see this thing still doesn't want to work right. Let me try this here. See if it'll work right now. Now let's see what happens. The convention opened on Sunday, August 1st, with religious services and a silent march of delegates and UNIA members through Harlem. The next day, the true spectacle began. Garvey had organized a giant parade through the streets of Harlem. Much of the district closed down as thousands lined the streets to watch the procession. Garvey rode in an open car wearing a fancy uniform and a plumed hat. A field marshal's hat, as a matter of fact, because truly Garvey brought out his troops that day. And he was not the only one dressed for the occasion. Spectators were astonished to view an army of UNIA groups. First in line were members of the African legions, some riding horses, some marching on foot. They were outfitted in blue uniforms with bright red trouser stripes. The group's members were unarmed and were used by Garvey mainly for ceremonial purposes. But their military bearing suggested the hidden power of the black race. Garvey hoped that the legions could one day be used to reclaim Africa from its foreign occupiers. Following the African legions were 200 Black Cross nurses marching in long white dresses and white stockings. Few of the nurses had any actual medical training, but they symbolized the UNIA's commitment to aiding sick and needy members of the black community. In the middle of the parade came the officers and crew of the Black Star Line, who received huge ovations from the crowd. After them marched the Women's Auxiliary, a female counterpart of the African legions. Next came a group of proud young Garveyites, the UNIA juveniles. At the end of the parade were several brass bands, the UNIA choir, and the thousands of convention delegates who had responded to Garvey's call. The marchers carried banners that proclaimed "Down with lynching," "Join the fight for freedom," and "Africa must be free." Before 1903, well, 1983, let's say that. Some of the women waved signs reading, "God give us real men." Many of those watching felt for the first time the power and united spirit of an aroused black race. On the night of August 2nd, people gathered at Madison Square Garden, the largest indoor auditorium in New York City, to hear the words of their leader, Marcus Mosiah Garvey. The crowd filled the hall of the auditorium and spilled out into the streets. Inside the hall, the convention finally got underway. The people in the audience sang the new UNIA anthem, "Ethiopia, thou land of our fathers." Ethiopia is an ancient name for Africa. And were entertained by bonds as they waited impatiently for Garvey to appear. Dressed in dark robes, Garvey finally stepped onto the stage and received a 5-minute standing ovation. When the clapping died down, he made an announcement. The UNIA had sent a telegram to Eamon de Valera, the leader of the Irish independence movement, expressing the convention's support for Ireland's struggle to free itself from British rule. Ireland was in the process of winning self-rule, and De Valera had assumed the title of President of the Irish Republic. The UNIA telegram stated, "We believe Ireland should be free, even as Africa shall be free. For the Negroes of the world, keep up the fight for a free Ireland." The telegram highlighted one of the main thrusts of Garvey's program, the need for an independent black-ruled nation in Africa. He had long sympathized with the Irish cause, and by comparing that struggle to the black desire for self-rule in Africa, he drew international attention to his own campaign. All oppressed people were tied together, he said. We are the descendants of a suffering people. We are the descendants of a people determined to suffer no longer. In his speeches at the convention, Garvey stressed that Africa belonged to the black peoples of the world. He warned the European colonial powers that blacks were coming 400 million strong, and we mean to retake every square inch of the 12 million square miles of African territory belonging to us by right divine. The statement was backed by Garvey's slogan, "Let Africa be our guiding star, our star of destiny." Garvey was just beginning to form his ambitious plans for a black homeland. Eventually, he believed Africa would become a magnet for all blacks in search of a nation that would allow them full rights as citizens. The convention raised hopes that this vision could become a reality. For 4 weeks, the speeches and meetings continued. In the midst of all this commotion, the UNIA was raising lots of money for its various operations. Stock in the Black Star Line and the Negro Factories Corporation was purchased in massive quantities. People who contributed sums of $50 or more to the UNIA were given special bronze, silver, or gold crosses known as African Redemption Medals. Acting as representatives of the worldwide black community, the delegates set up a model government for a future black nation. They elected Garvey provisional president of Africa, the head of a government in exile. Leading UNIA officials received titles such as Knight of the Nile. The delegates chose a flag of red, black, and green to represent the new UNIA-sponsored nation. Red for the blood shed by blacks to make themselves free, black for the skin color, and green for the lush African forest. All of this was done to demonstrate to blacks that they were capable of creating institutions that equal those of whites. The convention's most important task was the composition of the Declaration of Rights of the Negro Peoples of the World in order to prepare a document that would truly represent blacks throughout the world. The writers of the Declaration listened to delegates' report on the conditions in their own countries. The first section of the Declaration protested that blacks were denied the common rights due to human beings for no other reason than their race and color. The document condemned all forms of discrimination, lynching, unequal school systems for blacks, and the denial of equal pay for equal work. Following the Declaration section on black grievances came a list of 54 rights that all countries should give to their Negro citizens. The convention stated that blacks should be accorded the right to participate in politics and should receive the same legal rights as other citizens. Negro should be written with a capital N, the Declaration pointed out. Africans should be given their freedom. Lastly, the Declaration proclaimed that August 31st, the final day of the convention, was to be an annual international holiday for black people. This was a declaration to make blacks proud, and it made everyone take notice of the great movement that was stirring within the Negro race. The nations of the world are aware that the Negro of yesterday has disappeared from the scene of human activities. Garvey declared after the convention, his place has been taken by a new Negro who stands erect, conscious of his manhood rights and fully determined to preserve them at all cost. And so ends chapter 5. We will stop right here. Seems like a good place to stop at. And we'll see if we can show you a picture of this one. I don't have another picture of this particular ship here, but it's called the Shady Side. And this is one of the ships that Garvey purchased. And you'll see here that it's a steamship and it's a paddle wheel. It's a paddle wheel steamship. So I don't know where it was supposed to go. That was supposed to be an ocean-bound vessel or what, but I don't see it. I wouldn't see going on that to anywhere. Certainly not to Africa. You know, we can go up the river, but I don't think that vessel did not look as though it was seaworthy. I'll put it to you that way. So, you know, all in all, the thing to keep in mind here is that what Garvey has done for us is he gave us a template. He gave us some things to strive for, to achieve. He showed what could be possible if we were just to all pull together and use Harambe, the principle of Harambe, all pulling together in the same direction at the very same time, that we could achieve miraculous things, that it is possible for us to do that. And that's the most important lesson that Garvey gave us, is possibilities. He showed there was possibilities if we could all just work together. So we're going to leave you on that note, and we're going to say to all you little children out there the same thing we say every other night. It's about time for you to take your little head and put it on your little pillow, on your little bed, and close those your eyes while you wait on that sun to rise. And as you're waiting for that sun to rise, after you've gone and closed those eyes, have some sweet dreams and visions of a future that puts you in the driver's seat. You can be in the driver's seat. You can be the master of your own destiny. And as for you adults, the very same message applies to you as well. I'm talking to everybody at this point. The only difference is that right now you are the one responsible for the youth. So we need you to do a couple things for us. Number one, go ahead and give us a like if you're watching on Facebook. Give us a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. And last but not least, go ahead and subscribe to the Tubular Black Facts channel. If you've already subscribed, because I see we have some regular listeners, some regular people that have been watching. If you've already subscribed, then go the next step and get your friends, your family members, get them to subscribe as well. Don't keep all of this information in a basket with a lid on it. A tisket, a tasket. It'd be a really bad thing if you kept it all in a basket. Let it come out and flow freely through the line. Meanwhile, we'll be back tomorrow at noon, continuing on, reading from our book that we've been reading from this week, Africa for the Africans. We've got the last section of Garvey's second speech to the UNIA Convention of 1921. And we'll be finishing that off tomorrow, and then we'll be moving on to some new material. Thank you so much for letting us know what time it is. Meanwhile, peace and justice, because anything less than peace with justice disgusts us. And we do not like being disgusted, but we do like being discussed. So feel free to discuss us. Just don't make us disgusted. Peace out without a doubt. Good night over there to Solomon Israel. Shalom, my brother. Shalom. May peace guide your way. I hope you had a good day.